What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racenews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. All right, let's go to Colonial Downs. That's right, Colonial Downs opening for the 12th, 13th, and 14th of March. Let's go to March 14th, race 9 on the card. It's a Virginia Derby, $500,000 purse, going a mile and an eighth here. Field of 10 for this Kentucky Derby prep race, which is basically a win and you're in, 50 points to the winner. So the winner of this race will be in the Kentucky Derby as long as they stay healthy. All right. Like I said, it's a field of 10, and, I think we got the gist of it last year. It's kind of those horses on the fringe a little bit, whether they're up and coming, and this is a good spot for them, or whether they failed in some bigger races, and they've decided to take a shot here. All right, let's start with the number one, Buetane, and that is a horse that fits the bill I just said, a horse that has failed in a couple of races against tougher competition. 2 races back, finished second, beaten 2 lengths by So Happy, and then last time out in the Southwest, finished third, beaten 3 1/4 lengths behind Silent Tactic and Soldier and Diplomat. Silent Tactic did come back to almost win the Rebel Stakes. Soldier and Diplomat was fifth, despite a poor trip there in the Rebels. So he's kept good company. So Happy was third in the San Felipe next time out. He doesn't really want to go 2 turns, though. So still a quote unquote good loss to lose to So Happy going 1 turn. I like Buetane. I think he's in here with a big shot. Flavian Pratt gets aboard here. And look, I think he's got every chance to win it. No doubt about it. He looks like one of the main contenders in this race for sure. The number 2 is Grittiness. Grittiness comes into this race after finishing second in the that was in the Wither Stakes. He finished second. That's the good news. The bad news is he was 11 lengths behind Talk to Me Jimmy. 2 races back, he was fifth in the Rimson Stakes, beaten 9.5 lengths. That was Paladin and Renegade that finished ahead of him in that one. Grittiness still a maiden. He's 0 for 5. I think he needs to go a mile and an eighth. That is for sure. Past that, he's just not for me. Could he run well here? I mean, could he get third or fourth? I think so, but he's just not for me in this spot. So he was a pass for me. The number 3 is Epic Desire. This horse last time out finished behind Renegade and Wayne's Law on the Puma. He finished fifth, beaten 9 lengths in the Sam F. Davis. Didn't run very well that day. 2 races back, did break the maiden right there at Tampa Bay Downs at a maiden special weight by 2 1/4. Looks a little light on the speed figures for me. So this is another horse I am going to toss. So I'm tossing a couple of Todd Pletcher runners, which is always a little dangerous, but I just don't think there's much there with either the 2 or the 3. Don't think there's a whole lot there with the number 4 Work either. Horse did break the maiden last time out, going 6.5 furlongs on the turf at Santa Anita. Hadn't really been close to winning before that. Did run better than he had been, obviously, got the job done. But another one, just not for me. Moving back here to the dirt, the 2 dirt races were not good. A fifth beaten 12 at Santa Anita, and then a 6th beaten 37.5 also at Santa Anita. So this horse is by American Pharaoh out of Into Mischief Mare. So dirt kind of seems like what it should be, but I don't think we'll see much from this one. Kind of just a simple toss for me in this race. All right, let's get to one that's not a toss. Number 5, High Camp. Very interested to see what he does. So when you look at High Camp, got second on debut, beaten a length and a half by a horse named Waymark, who's a decent horse, had a little bit of hype behind him. Came back and then broke the maiden on February 7th, going 7 furlongs there at Gulfstream Park. Beat a horse named Growth Equity, who I think is decent for Chad Brown, a horse that I think will end up being okay. Won by a length, looked pretty good doing it. I kind of like the versatility. So on debut, was kind of right up on a really fast pace. Second race, sat off a little bit and then made a move. I like that the horse can be handy and get up towards the front. I also like that the horse can sit off a little bit if need be. I really like this horse coming into this one. Going to stretch out to a mile and eighth after 2 races, going 6 furlongs and 7 furlongs. I think that'll be okay. This horse is by Instagram out of an Uncle Mo mare. I actually think this horse will be able to get a mile and an eighth. Johnny Velasquez will be aboard once again here. This is the 3rd straight race he's been on him. I like this horse, so I'm interested in him in this spot quite a bit. I think this will set up pretty nicely for him. The number 6 is Lock, Stock, and Pharaoh. This is a kind of a cool horse. We'll see if he likes the dirt. The synthetic surface is where we've seen him so far. He debuted at Turfway Park for a 2-length victory and then came back to run another in an allowance race and won again by 8 1/4. Looked really good doing it. This horse is by American Pharaoh out of a Nyquist mare, so going to a mile and an eighth shouldn't be a problem. yeah, it's just the dirt. Will the dirt be something he enjoys? Will he take to it? I think that's a big question mark with Lock, Stock, and Pharaoh. But he's been really, really impressive in 2 races there at Turfway Park. I'm surprised they're not going Jeff Ruby Stakes. That seems like the logical progression for the 6 Lock, Stop, and Pharaoh. That's a synthetic race coming up next week. That holds more points, and I don't know. I thought they would be there after these 2 synthetic races, but they're going to try the dirt here. We'll see what happens with him. The number 7 is Incredible, a horse that was on many people's radar as maybe a potential Derby winner after he won the Street Sense Stakes at Churchill Downs back in October 2025. He ran in the Holy Bull last time out, and he just never picked up his feet. He finished 6th, beating 25 and a quarter, but he never really ran a step. This is a really good spot to try to get him back on track. Your guess is as good as mine. What happened in that Holy Bull? Riley Mott after the race said, "Hey, he just did not take to this track at all." So maybe different place, and he's going to show up here and run a lot better. You got to think, you got to hope. But boy, it couldn't have been any worse, really, in that race last time out. So we'll see if he can kind of rebound. This horse is by Bolt du Oro of an awesome again mare, so going 1 1/8 should not be any problem whatsoever. It's just a matter of can he kind of bounce back from that poor effort last time out. Let's go to the number 8 Confessional, another horse that needs to bounce back. Broke the maiden on debut at Keeneland and looked really good doing it, and then ran second, beaten 5 lengths behind Nearly in that allowance race. And then Nearly goes back to run really well. And everybody's like, okay, well, maybe Confessional is decent. Not really. Got 7th in the Sam F. Davis, beaten 11 3/4 there. So, yeah, and I don't know. Another horse, he's by Essential Quality out of American Pharaoh Mare. So you got to think going long to 1 1/8 now won't be that big of a problem. It's just, is this horse any good? And I think that's a big question that you got to ask yourself. Irad Ortiz is going to come in to ride. He rode him 2 races back. Flavian Pratt rode him last time out. Just not a lot of interest from me as far as winning the race. I think he's a horse certainly you could put in your top 4, but I don't have a lot of interest in him in this spot as far as winning. The number 9 is Ocelli. This is a horse coming in another race at Tampa Bay at the Sam F. Davis. He was 6th in that race, so a lot of also rans coming out of that one into this one. Maybe his claim to fame, he's still a maiden by way. He's 0 for 4. He ran 3rd, beaten 1 3/4 by Reagan's Honor 2 races back. That horse came back to run really, really well. The problem is he also ran 2nd, beaten 1 3/4 behind Thunderbuck. He's not very good. He hasn't done anything since breaking the maiden. So, yeah, I hate to be a broken record. I don't see a lot out of this one. I got to take a pass when it comes to the number 9, Ocelli. And then finally, the number 10 is Clocker Special. This is a very interesting horse. Last time out, off of a layoff, ran 2nd, beaten a neck at Oaklawn Park in an allowance race. Now, the bad news is he got beat by Honey's to Blame and Arkansas Bred, who's didn't do much of anything in the Rebel. But it was his first race off a long layoff, first race going long. He set the pace and just kind of faded late. 2 races back, back in July at Ellis, did break the maiden by a length and a half. Got beat by Obliteration at Churchill Downs on debut. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, look, I think this is a decent enough horse. I think for an upset possibility, I think you look to him. I think he's going to improve. Second time going long, second race off the layoff. The horse is by not this time out of a Blame mare. I like him as a little bit of an upset horse. I didn't go all the way with picking him. I don't even have him in my top 4, but I'm saying, hey, if you get double digits, I'd take a shot with him. I don't think he's completely out of the realm. He's just going to have to improve, but he should improve. Just how much will he in this spot? All right. So that's the field of 10. I'm going to go number 5, High Camp on top. I'm going to continue to kind of fade Bob Baffert in these races. Probably shouldn't have last week in the San Felipe, but still, I did fade Brandt, and that worked out. But I'm going to go ahead and fade him on the road here. Going to go number 5, High Camp to win here. Walden and Johnny Velasquez, 2 really good races down at Gulfstream. I think Gulfstream's the strongest circuit. And I think he's faced, he hasn't faced those really good horses down there, but he's faced some decent ones. He's ran okay. So give me number 5, High Camp on top in the spot. I'll take number 1, Buetane in second. Would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't say I liked his race in the Southwest. You went back and rewatched it. It's like, that wasn't awful. I wish he would have got second. Soldier and Diplomat kind of beating him there. That bothered me a bit. But anyway, I'm going to put Buetane in second. Easier spot here. I think he's in with a shot. So I'm going to go 5-1. Then I'll go Incredible, the 7 in third. And I'll go 8 Confessional in fourth. So 5-1, 7-8 for me in the Virginia Derby. Going to go High Camp on top. All right, guys, that'll do this preview. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Colonial on Saturday.